Growing up exploring Alaska's ever-changing landscape inspires a lifetime of learning. That's why Alaska 529 is a proud sponsor of the Alaska Sea Life Center and focused on helping families take small steps now for their child's future education. To learn about the Alaska 529 plan, its investment objectives, risks, and costs, carefully read the plan disclosure document available at alaska529plan.com. Alaska 529. Save in Alaska, study anywhere.
Everyone gather round, it's a time of day for virtual small fry school. We can hardly wait. Meet new ocean friends, connect with old pals too. Let's learn about the sea, there's so much to do. La la small fry, la la small fry, la la small fry, la la small fry. Learn and have fun, cool creatures to meet. It's virtual small fry school. Go ahead and grab a seat.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Virtual Small Fry School here at the Alaska Sea Life Center. If we haven't met before, my name is Lindsay, and we are so happy to have you all here today. Thanks for joining us. Now, this is the final Virtual Small Fry School program of the spring, but we've been doing them every other Thursday here at 11 a.m. right here on YouTube. If you want to check out those previous ones, feel free to check out our playlist on that. But we want to thank Alaska 529 once again, like that commercial showed. We really appreciate their sponsorship because it's able to connect us with you all wherever you are watching from. So just a couple of things before we do get into our program. This is a children's program on YouTube, which means there is no chat or comment option. But if you do have questions, first off, hopefully we answer those during the program. If there are questions that we don't quite get to or you think of at the end of the program, you can email us at education@alaskasealife.org, and we will surely try to answer that as quickly as we can and get back to you on that. Now, you might notice today, if you've been here at the Sea Life Center before, we are in our underwater viewing of our bird habitat. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really see any birds in here right now. Maybe we'll get some diving down. But based on that, can you think of what animal do you think that we will be talking about today? So I'll give you a moment to think about that. That's right. We are talking about fabulous fishes, and we have a variety of them here at the Sea Life Center. We're going to learn a little bit more about them and how they're able to survive in their habitat. So you see the fish behind me, they have fins, they have different body shapes, they have gills that help them breathe underwater, which we don't have, right? We have to hold our breath. So we're going to learn about these specifically 3 physical features of our fabulous fishes. Whew, try to say that 3 times fast. And we'll be exploring those today all together. So first up, we're going to talk about our body shape, then we'll talk about fin shape, and then we'll talk about mouth shape, and might be talking about the eyes here and there, but we've got a story time as well, craft for y'all at the end, and we'll have a special guest too. So hang tight. But let's start off with that body shape. Body shape can tell us a lot about a fish. It might tell us where the fish lives in the ocean. So go ahead and think of your favorite shapes, or you can even shout them out loud. Okay, I love triangles and squares, and I really love circles. So hopefully we have some common favorite shapes. Fish can have similar shapes too. And like I said, that tells us where those fish might reside in the ocean. So first off, let's think about if a fish is flat from top to bottom, like a pancake, if you like pancakes. So that is a good assumption that that fish is probably really good at hiding on the flat sea floor. And I've got a little friend here with me today that can show you a demonstration. This is a flatfish. We have a lot of species of flatfish here at the Sea Life Center. And you'll notice they've got kind of strange eyes. They're on one side of their head, but they're completely flat. And we have a clip of a flatfish that you can see right here at the Sea Life Center. And what I love about these flatfish, they blend in so well with the sandy bottom of their habitat. It's almost impossible to see them. So try to count how many flatfish you even see in this video. And their eyes are on that complete side. As babies, these flatfish, their eyes are on either side of their face, but one eye will slowly travel across the face to meet that other eye. I just think that's so cool. Did you count all the flatfish in there? Awesome. All right, so next up, we're going to be talking about another flatfish, but in a different way. So they will be flat side to side, but they're going to be also shaped like a ribbon. And if you have any sort of scarf at home, you can move your ribbon like me. I've been practicing this move. But this is like a ribbon. Yeah, I'm actually doing pretty well. And these animals, these fish, are going to be able to fit in tight, little tiny spaces. And we'll pull up another video of one of our fish here at the Sea Life Center. These are gunnels. That one's got his mouth wide open. And they're really good at tucking in these little crevices. It's a really popular fish to find when you're tide pulling because they hide in those rocks because it's really important for them to stay nice and safe when the tide moves in and out. Because they need to hang tight, because those waves can be really strong and that could pull them out into the open ocean, which is not where they want to be. They like to hide in these tiny spots. But they do look a lot like ribbons. They also have a variety of beautiful colors as well. So we're a big fan of our gunnels here. They're in our microhabitats at the Sea Life Center. Awesome. So our next one, probably a common shape when you think of a shape of a fish right off, or when you draw a shape of a fish. It probably looks a lot like this. So this is a salmon, and it's sort of torpedo-shaped, or football-shaped, or kind of like an airplane. So all those things that I'm saying, those are really fast things, right? They can go pretty fast, or a bullet train. So if you think about it, that probably means that this fish is really good at moving fast and swimming through the open ocean. And that's exactly what our salmon friends can do as well. So they have a little narrow end on either side. Once again, I kind of think of a football. And this allows them to swim through the open ocean nice and fast and be nice and speedy. Awesome. Okay. This other shape we're going to talk about is round, but also long like a hose. So this is a good example of that. I also think of like cookie dough when it comes in that long tube. I'm always thinking about food, so that's a good example as well. But we have a fish that lives in here. You're probably not going to be able to see her right now, but we have a really cool video of our lady wolf eel that lives in the bird habitat. So we'll go ahead and pull up our wolf eel. She does come out and hang with our divers and gets hand-fed because this shape allows them to fit under rocks as well, nice and tight. She does tend to hang out in a den most of the time, but she does come out with our divers, and they're able to feed her squid, which is what they're feeding her today. So she does have that ribbon end, but then if you look more towards the beginning of her body, it does look round like a hose. So we do love our lady wolf eel, and what's really fun is our divers are actually able to cradle her and bring her closer to folks to visit if she's on coming out and about. But you can even see that hose in the background. She reminds me of that too. But our divers come in weekly, sometimes more, to clean this habitat. So they really do have a good relationship with our animals here at the Sea Life Center, and we want to make sure they have the best care possible. Awesome. I love our lady wolf eel. I really hope she comes out and visits, but like I said, she's really good at hiding in that den, so she probably won't say hello today, but that's okay. Now, the last shape we're going to talk about is round, like a circle, and And this is an animal that's going to be able to hide in really tight spots as well, in round, tight spaces. And we're going to show you a video of one of my I know I say this probably for all the fishes, but this is one of my personal favorites, the Grunt Sculpin. They're really hard to see at the Sea Life Center because they're so good at blending in. So let's go ahead and play that clip. Great, so not moving a whole lot, but they have that beautiful pattern that blends in with their colorful habitat. And one of their favorite hiding spots is empty barnacle shells. So they have that pointed mouth end, and that looks like a closed up barnacle. So they're able to tuck inside empty barnacle shells, which you'll be able to see in the background, and hide in there. And I don't know about y'all, but if you ever play hide and go seek, that's a really fun activity. So maybe you have a favorite hiding spot that you can think of. The Grunt Sculpin, top go-to spot would be the barnacle shell. Awesome. So we've talked about how our fish body shapes are, and that tells us a little bit more about where they might live in the ocean. But the other thing we're going to talk about is how they move, because it's really important to move as a fish, as you can see. So we're going to talk about their fin shape as well. So we're going to pull up that Grunt Sculpin video once again. And eventually, this fish will move, I promise. So we're going to hang tight on this clip. But as they move around, you'll notice the gills moving, allowing them to breathe. You only see one eye, so this is a lot different than our flatfish. So they have eyes on either side. So they're able to see different sides of the area. And we will eventually see if you can find, when we zoom out, you'll see maybe another Grunt Sculpin. There you go. I see 3 fishes in here. And just watch those fins, those pectoral fins, as they hop along. They are able to swim a little bit, but they really do use those pectoral fins towards the front of their body to move around almost like they're walking. And I think that's so cool. That helps them balance in the water, helps them squeeze into those tight crevices and places. And it's just a really good adaptation for our Grunt Sculpins. Hopefully, if you come visit the Sea Life Center, you'll be able to see that one, this fish, the next time you come. Awesome. All right, so the next fin we're going to talk about is a rounded fin. So those were those pointy pectoral fins, good for balancing and walking. And now we're going to talk a little bit about rounded fins. So I notice a lot of the fishes back here behind me have rounded fins. And if it's a more round fin shape, they're going to be able to swim moderately fast. So not going to be the fastest sprinter, but they'll be able to swim pretty well. So I think we'll go ahead and pull up a video of our flatfish again so you can see. See if you can even see the fins first off. They blend in so well. And they're just very rounded. So as you see fishes swimming by me today, just try to pay attention to see if they're round or if they have those pointy balancing pectoral fins, or maybe they have very pointy pectoral fins. So this is my salmon again. He's got these pointy pectoral fins, a pointy caudal fin. This is their back tail fin. And if you think about it, do you think this fish is going to be able to swim very fast? Yes, absolutely. So the pointier fins are going to help them move very fast through the ocean too, just like their body shape helps them out. And that's going to help them stay safe from predators or things that might want to eat them. So things like sea lions, whales, people. Salmon really have to be able to get away from those predators. Perfect. So we're talking about predators with our fish trying to swim away from them. But our fish are also swimming around looking to be a predator, looking to get their own food. So that's going to lead into our mouth shapes. And a mouth shape of a fish, or where that's located, can tell you a lot about how a fish might eat. If they have a big, wide, and upturned mouth, that fish is probably going to be a big gulper. So let's go ahead and pull up that lady wolf eel video again, because she does come out and take a big gulp of squid. Doesn't really chew her food. That's totally fine. It's not rude. That's how she eats. And let's see, maybe one more gulp. Perfect. Yeah. So if you see a big fish with a big mouth, you can probably guess that they're going to be gulping down big pieces of food. Perfect. Now, if you think of a fish that has a mouth that's slanted more towards the top, where do you think that food would be coming from? The surface, right? It's going to be coming above them. So those are typically surface feeders. And a lot of at-home aquarium fishes, those are good examples of that. When you sprinkle the flakes on the top, they're coming to the surface to feed. So that's a really good example of having a fish that has an upturned mouth. We have quite a few gulpers here, I would say. So I can't really see an example of one right now at the moment. But another really cool mouth shape is if it's long and skinny, like a tube. And we'll pull up a video of a correctly named tube snout. This is one of our first habitats you come up to see at the Sea Life Center. This is a tube snout, and they have that long, narrow mouth that's really good at getting itty-bitty things to eat. So cute. They like to eat little plankton, little crabs, things like that is really cool. All right, last but not least, if we have a fish that has a mouth on the underside, what do you think? Where do you think they're eating at? That's right, they're going to be a bottom feeder. They're going to be eating on the underside. So let's pull up a video of our skate. And you'll notice that our skate has her eyes at the top of her head, so she really never can see exactly what she's eating. Her mouth's all the way on the bottom. So when we feed her, we want to be sure that we give her her food underneath her body. Our skates are related to sharks and stingrays. They're a very cool species of fish. They're one of my favorites. Awesome. So, speaking of eating, we've talked about, I'm getting kind of hungry actually, and that leads perfectly into our story time because we're going to be reading a book called I Know an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Trout. So we hope you enjoy. Hang tight while we read the story, and we'll be right back.
There was an old lady who swallowed a trout. Written by Terry Sloat, illustrated by Reynold Ruffins. There was an old lady who swallowed a trout that splished and splashed and thrashed about. It wanted out. There was an old lady who swallowed a salmon that slippity flippity flopped as it swam in. She swallowed the salmon to catch the trout that splished and splashed and thrashed about. It wanted out. There was an old lady who swallowed an otter. With a mug of water, she swallowed the otter. She swallowed the otter to catch the salmon. She swallowed the salmon to catch the trout that splished and splashed and thrashed about. It wanted out. There was an old lady who swallowed a seal. She let out a squeal when she swallowed the seal. She swallowed the seal to catch the otter. She swallowed the otter to catch the salmon. She swallowed the salmon to catch the trout that splished and splashed and thrashed about. It wanted out. There was an old lady who swallowed a porpoise. She did it on purpose. She swallowed the porpoise. She swallowed the porpoise to catch the seal. She swallowed the seal to catch the otter. She swallowed the otter to catch the salmon. She swallowed the salmon to catch the trout that splished and splashed and thrashed about. It wanted out. There was an old lady who swallowed a walrus. With a great deal of fuss, she swallowed the walrus. She swallowed the walrus to catch the porpoise. She swallowed the porpoise to catch the seal. She swallowed the seal to catch the otter. She swallowed the otter to catch the salmon. She swallowed the salmon to catch the trout that splished and splashed and thrashed about. It wanted out. There was an old lady who swallowed a whale. From its tip to its tail, she swallowed that whale. She swallowed the whale to catch the walrus. She swallowed the walrus to catch the porpoise. She swallowed the porpoise to catch the seal. She swallowed the seal to catch the otter. She swallowed the otter to catch the salmon. She swallowed the salmon to catch the trout that splished and splashed and thrashed about. It wanted out. There was an old lady who swallowed the ocean. What a commotion! She swallowed the ocean. She swallowed the ocean to hold the whale that had plenty of room for its tail. She swallowed the whale to catch the walrus. She swallowed the walrus to catch the porpoise. She swallowed the porpoise to catch the seal. She swallowed the seal to catch the otter. She swallowed the otter to catch the salmon. She swallowed the salmon to catch the trout that splished and splashed and thrashed about. It wanted out. The old lady started to wriggle and jiggle. The swirling inside made her hiccup and giggle. It made her laugh, it made her shout, and when the old lady opened her mouth, she let out the ocean, the whale, and the walrus. She let out the porpoise she'd swallowed on purpose. The seal, the otter, the salmon, and trout splished and splashed and thrashed about. And they all swam out.
Wow. She ate a lot of things. I don't think any of our fishes here would really be that interested in eating the whole ocean. But it's been really fun learning more about the fish shapes, their fins, just the parts of a fish. And I want to invite our special guest on screen. You're probably familiar if you've been watching. Hey, Tuffy, how's it going today? Awesome. Well, we're so glad to have Tuffy here because I want to play a game with you, Tuffy, and those of you at home. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a close-up picture of a part of a fish. A lot of them we've talked about today. And I want you to yell as loud as you can what that is. Are you ready to do this, Tuffy? You got your magnifying glass? Get up close? All right. Okay, we'll pull up that first photo. Take a moment. We'll let you guys take a moment, think about it. If you know it, go ahead and shout it out. Okay, so if you at home took a guess, Tuffy, what part of the fish is that? The eye, very good. That's awesome. So y'all learn some fish have the eyes on top of their head, some on the side. Some are even on the same side of their face, which is pretty crazy. So great job if you got that first part right. Let's go ahead and pull up the second. All right, we'll leave that up for just a moment. We're looking at a specific fish part that we've talked about today. All right. Tuffy, what part of the fish was that? The fin, right, that was the pectoral fins. If you all do your pectoral fin dance with us. We got a lot of fish. There's one right behind me here. I don't know if you can see. He's got his pectoral fin showing off. Right on cue, just like we planned. All right, let's go ahead and pull up that third photo. Shout it out as loud as you can if you know what part of the fish this is. Okay. The mouth! Awesome job, Tuffy. And those of you at home that guessed it right as well. That fish had a lot of teeth. That was one of our salmon replicas, salmon models that we have upstairs. So they have a lot of teeth, all the better to eat with, right? Okay, I've got one more photo, I believe, Tuffy, to show you. So we're gonna pull up that photo. And I want you to look at it for a moment. Okay, so what we just looked at, Tuffy, was a school of fish. Now, this whole program has been called Fabulous Fishes. But that picture had a lot of fish in it. There was more than one. So why, do you know why we use the word fish and fishes when we use, what's the difference? You're not sure? Okay, so if you're using the word fish, just like this picture shows, that means it's referring to one fish or a group or school of the same fish. On the other hand, if you have a group of fish swimming together like that first picture showed, and then you've got maybe another group of fish swimming past them, you're staring at them and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of fishes. That's more than one type of fish. And I think that's so fun to share with people, and one of my favorite things to do at the Sea Life Center when I'm walking around the habitats looking at our different animals, but specifically our fish, is trying to decide if I'm looking at fish or fishes, because it's not always that easy, right? What do you think, Tuffy? What are we looking at? That's right, we're looking at fishes. There's a variety of them in here. They look different, they have different shapes and fins. So I think that's just really fun to share and think about the next time you go somewhere that has a lot of fishes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tuffy, for joining us today and playing our game. Everybody wave goodbye to Tuffy. Bye, Tuffy. Thank you. Fantastic, or fabulous. Well, we wanted to end with that craft that we had talked about. I brought it up earlier, and this is a really fun craft that you can do at home. You don't really need to go out and buy a whole lot of materials, probably, because you most likely have these items right in your house. So we're gonna make, a fish out of a variety of materials. So I'm gonna hand it over to my friend who's going to show this on the document camera, so it gets a better visual. So this is the end product that you'll have, but we also will be able to show you what it's made out of. So for this project, you'll only need a couple of things. So you'll need foil. You'll also need scissors, and you'll want to have cardboard and glue. You can even have cardboard and glue and yarn. And this is what that first step of this craft looks like. So you'll get a piece of cardboard, and you'll be able to outline the shape of your fish with that glue. So we learned a lot about different shapes today, so go ahead and you'd be able to make whatever shape fish you want, and you'll be able to outline that with yarn, make the fins, put the eye placement in there, have the mouth. You can even add texture with more yarn, add scales. And then once you get your fish to your liking, you'll then layer the tinfoil on top of that. You'll fold that underneath the cardboard, and you don't see your fish anymore. But don't worry, if you just keep pushing onto that foil, you can feel that fish shape take place. And I also want to make a point that you'll want to make sure that your glue is dry before you start doing this, or else you're going to have a big mess on your hands. You want to make sure that glue is dry before you start doing your outline of your fish. So this is a really fun activity because you get to sort of find your fish again. And once you fully get that outline filled out, the next step is, of course, to decorate your fish. And that's where the markers come in, that's where the paint comes in, all of those fun, creative things that you can do along with making your fish. So we can show a little demonstration of where you might want to color your fish. See, it works. You can paint your ocean. If your fish lives on the sea floor, maybe like a flatfish, you could add sand, so maybe a brown color might be better than the blue. But the end product is going to look like that one that we showed earlier, just like that. So if you do end up making this project, we would love for you to share it with us. Feel free to email us at education@alaskasealife.org for that. We also, we would just love to see that craft. Now, Another thing that we want to talk about is we're talking about all these fishes. We've learned about their shapes, where they live, but how can you help a fish? So a really great thing to do is wherever you live, you can do a cleanup. You can do a stream cleanup. You can go out and pick up trash near the water because our fishes are laying their eggs there. They're having to find food there. So it's really important that we keep that nice and clean for them. Well, perfect. I just wanted to end on that. So hopefully you can go out, do the craft, go ahead and do a stream cleanup if you can, all these fun things. But we want to thank you again for joining us. And thanks again to Alaska 529. We'll be back in the fall for more of these programs. But until next time, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Bye.